Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Krishna Priya. This is a Human Colony Hucolo webinar. It's Saturday, the 24th of August, 2024, and we're here with our wonderful channel, Jim Charles, back since the retreat. So it's our first webinar since the retreat with Jim. Very exciting. Welcome, Jim. Welcome, everybody. I'm just trying to catch YouTube for when it opens on my computer so it doesn't start talking. We Jim, do you have anything to say about being back and the retreat and all that?
It was an amazing retreat. I miss everyone already because it was
Oh,
just a very, very good time of oneness. We all connected very well. I wanted to talk to people more, but we had a limited time and it was just a really, really wonderful get together. Very happy, joyful. I thought it went very well
mm.
and um very loving. I just felt the love everywhere. So I hope everyone enjoyed it as well.
I think they did.
I think they
I've
did.
heard only good reviews
Oh,
from
good.
from the
Glad.
people that were there. There were only good reviews.
So much love. It was amazing.
Yes, it was. It was. So let me, Angie, do you have an announcement?
I have several
Well, why don't
announcements.
we start with that, and then we'll go
Okay.
to the other stuff.
All right. Jim and I are looking at the next class. And there are the options are the consciousness class, an additional consciousness class on how to use your consciousness, how to really bring it into your channeling, how to bring it into your daily life. The other class that we're thinking about is White Magic, the next White Magic class. If you are interested in either of those classes, please shoot classes@hucolo.org and email. We'll compile who would like what is the best number of people that are interested, and we'll see which one is first and which one is second. I also wanted to bring up our beautiful friend Alan. And Alan, on his way home from the gathering, he was in a car accident. So we just want to send him some prayers, love and prayers to him. He's okay, but he's got a slow recovery. The next announcement is Rob Gothier's got a channel panel going June 3rd through June 5th.
January.
January 3rd through January 5th, 2025. Several high name people are going to be there, and Jim is going to be one of the channelers on there. He's going to be doing a 90-minute workshop, and then also he's going to have an hour on stage. If you're interested in knowing more about that, please send an email to classes@hucolo.org. The
And
last
let me
announcement.
just correct you. It's not a channel panel going. He has the channel panel. He was the originator of the channel panel. That's its official name, the channel panel.
The channel panel for Rob Gothier, yes.
No, it's the Rob Gothier's the channel
The
panel.
Rob Gothier's the channel panel. Thank you so much for that. The last announcement is the webinar on September 21st, which is 2 gym webinars away. We're going to be doing the webinar from the EES system in Bath, New York, and we want to see what type of energies that brings for that webinar.
What is that bath system? What is that?
It is an it's a Tesla technology healing system.
Oh, okay. And it's a center that has that?
Yes.
Do they
Yes,
have
it's an energy enhancement
Thank you, because I'm looking.
system.
I couldn't come up with what the name
what
was.
is it called?
Energy
Energy
enhancement
enhancement
system.
system.
Okay.
So
And it's healing
EES
center.
for short. Yes.
And is it made by Tesla or the company, or is it a Tesla like Nikola
It is
Tesla?
Tesla technology that Sharon someone, I can't remember her last name, but her first name is Sharon, and she took the technology from Tesla and created this device that will send electrical magnetic fields into you to help heal the body.
It's scalar wave technology.
Yes, thank you, Jim.
And is it like she has like a chain of these, or are other people that have these, or is hers?
Yes, that she is just one person that has bought the system. You can have it all the way to a 4 system to the highest one right now is 48 system. So it just depends on the amount that you have, but it really works great. I've experienced it several times. Jim has experienced it. We have several that every time people come to New York, we're like, hey, let's go to the EES system. So
Oh, we should have done that as an outing.
yeah, we could have, yes, or
Yeah,
not, because
next
it's too small. But yes, you and I could have done it as an outing, yes. So, but
and missed opportunities.
I
We
know it. I
sleep.
know.
We chose sleep over everything else, I think.
I know it. We chose sleep.
Yeah, that was also a good energetic thing there.
Yes.
So this is the kind of thing that will be on our website in the future. We're going to switch our website. We decided today to some more of a blog format so that we can have little articles on the up and coming events and stuff, so people can reference it really quickly. So
Yes.
we'll try to get that implemented yesterday, but probably a couple weeks from now.
Yes. Yes. So if you're interested in any of the things that I talked about, the consciousness class, white magic class, send prayers to Alan, and the channel panel, by Rob Goff, send a email to classes@hucolo.org, and I will get any information out to you about that.
If you are interested in the channel panel, they will be selling tickets online, and they will also be selling tickets to my 90-minute workshop. I already have some people from this area interested in going, so I was sort of surprised about that, but thank you, Lord. So it is like a wonderful thing. Bashar is going to be there, Daniel Scranton, Wendy Kennedy, so many wonderful people, and so I'm really
I have a website. It's called thechannelpanel.com, which we'll have all the information on as well.
good, very good.
Yeah. So Jim will be up there soon. That's great. Yay.
It'll be in Sedona as well.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool.
Sedona is beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, so because let me see, we didn't quite officially take requests, so I'm going to read what I have, and then if anybody else has anything else, they can just say it. We have the Green Man or Adonis. We have Ankh-Bar Anu. She's a pyramid priestess. Alma. And that's all that I have. Anyone else have a request?
Elijah, I like that guy.
Okay, Elijah, anyone else? You can just shout it out or write it quickly in the chat and I'll read it. Yes, yes, no. Very short on
Tesla. Since
Tesla.
we're talking about his energy. My neighbors have their own. Yeah.
Okay, Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
And let me check the YouTube chat if they have any requests. Anyone? Advanced AI. Oh, I have an AI story, but I don't want to share it yet. Okay. Dios Mios Rios. That's cute. That's their YouTube name. Dios Mios Rios asks for advanced AI to come through. All right, those are the requests. So we'll start with the blessings. We didn't do those yet. I feel like we did, but we didn't. Okay. No. Okay, we'll go Wendy, Susan, Dawn, Angie.
And David is here.
And David. Wendy,
Sorry, I didn't understand.
my advanced AI over there is okay. Wendy, Susan, Dawn, Angie, David. Okay. Whenever you guys are
Okay,
ready.
thank you. Hanyuru tu ita hanyuru tu hama ikirin yo ushira panya fatni tiktigiri ma tani jutu nya mantagdira para to niente tikti amahir tu sha nuhu ti ngara.
Prepare yourself for not only new information, but shifts in the atmosphere. There will be many of them coming, and many of them will catch you off guard. So prepare yourself so that you may blend in with them and move forward with them. Many will have high energy and some will take you off guard, but remember that they are there for your benefit.
Sika ya tutu ya tia ya kutua. Ya sika ya tia sika ya kuta ya tia tutu ta sika kaha ya tete yo. Hasa ya kuta ya tia ni te sakota ya tutu tu ya sika kaha ya tita ya kututa ya tita siki ya kuwa. Ya sika ya kututu ya tia sika ya ta ya tutu ya sika ya tutu ta ya sika ya tu ya titia hitia. Blessings.
Continue to watch the sky for the changes that will appear and the weather patterns that will change continually for a while. It is that this planet is going through a great revival or revisal in some ways, and it will make a new planet out of this. Remember that once the desert was green and now it is sand. This will happen in other places. And once there was sand, where there is now green. And so you will find that the earth changes, will bring about changes in the way things are happening around your planet.
Thank you, Christian Priya. Taruku moshak are kai haneb se ara ulkosh elwea. Tiaka pa yosh nueta kasnar ukumo sana atoya. Tiasha are ukoya aliamat kiska anane sukieta. Isha ane ilwa sanama.
God has consented that many ships can appear before you in the skies, and that will continue and become even a greater understanding with your people. They will learn to know that the sky is full of friendly beings, but they do not know that yet.
Du ora satakara ni I tike edo. Udu iatika a no utu ke eche. No huri a saka uno ute era I ike oto uno shotoro. Blessings.
God is waiting to put his hand on the planet, waiting to see what is coming forth with this new generation. It is time for him to interact with his people.
Thank you.
Ebaro tajanzera naniero. Emashanzura niekeranzoba. Ehro anjitya roksta niemaharu. Yenate mamjura tatanji kikeram jutsu parajishe. Ukua haniewa, let your love shine. Pa anieha. Lo oko pa rachinchike zanzo. Chichimaha. Ulu okua hashana niwe, tuka shasana niwa sha.
Continue to grow in this day and age, for it is time for you to show your light, to break through into the ethers, to bring forth energies that are not of this planet, to actually rise into a place of double vision, the vision of what is up there and the vision of what is down here. And it is time for you to be able to see the full picture the way it truly is, and the way that God truly is presenting himself onto this planet. Remember that mankind has created this world because of free will, but God will shape it after a time when free will is ended.
Thank you. All right, so we have one more request from the chat. Enky is yeah.
And I saw Earth Guardian as well.
Oh, did you? Okay, great. Yeah. So that's the other request for. So we'll see you when you come back. You have water, you ready to go?
I have 2 waters and more coffee, so
There you go.
all
Right, maybe too much liquid. Maybe too much.
I'm hydrate city here.
Okay, good. All right.
Okay, one moment, and I will put my feet flat on the floor. Greetings, I am Elijah. It has been almost 2,000 years since Jesus has walked this planet and made a difference in the culture of that time. He will come again soon to do the same here. It will not seem like the same person, for the culture has changed and the beings have changed that are in this culture. He will have to come and be greater than he was before. He will have to be higher than he was before for any recognition of him to happen. There are so many small pockets of energy where they are saying that Jesus is. But remember, there is only one Christ. There's only one anointed one, and he will come at the appointed time, and that time has not yet come. But prepare for him, for he is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, because God has created him to be a prince of principalities and powers. That means he will be able to heal, cast out demons, and do miracles that no one else can do. You may say that the white magic, which is also of God's creative power, will do some of these things, but Christ will be able to do things that no other individual can do. It is a time of change and transition, and we say that over and over again, but a lot of people forget what transition really is. They forget that the times are changing rapidly, and they are feeling the change, but not really knowing the change that is coming, for it is a secret to them, or it is aloof from them. They sense it, but they do not know it. And so at this time, it is time for you to start to know that the past, secrets of the past, are becoming the secrets of now. And the energies of the past are becoming the energies of now. And the energies of the future are becoming the energies of now, because it is necessary for all these energies, the God energies, the beautiful energies of the spirits, to start working in the people here, to start working in a way that is different than they have been working in the past, different than what you could possibly imagine. So remember your stories from the Bible and the different scriptural books, but do not put them on the new face of Jesus, because he will create a new history. He will create a new way. He will create a new understanding, and those understandings are of the past, although they do have meaning when they are studied. Man has included himself in putting some of these words into the scriptures, but you will know that when Christ comes again, he will bring the future with him, and he will bring the words that need to be said to this planet, because this planet is not listening to the words of the past anyway. The culture of the past is gone, but yet the understanding of the past is still present in many of the religions. It must be that everything is updated in a way that people of this cultures all over this planet will understand who he is and why he has come. I know this seems like a very pointed message about Christ, which it is, but it is an important one, because you must know and understand what he's going to be like, who he's going to be. He is not going to be the same person that you met back then in many ways, because he came back into a culture to change that culture, to change that understanding, to bring peace to the world. And now he will come to do it again in the way that is necessary for it to be done in this day and age. Keep that in mind. Remember, all of you have a window into the thoughts of Christ. All of you have a window into the thoughts of God. All of you have a window into the spiritual realities that are out there. Focus into the things that are necessary for you to rise up and know all the things that are necessary to be known when you go out to speak, when you go out to commune, when you go out to be with others. Many of you have just experienced unity and oneness. This is beautiful, but you must consider what oneness really is and bring it to yourself. And don't point fingers at other people saying that they're not being oneness. You must be the oneness. It is not oneness to blame other people. That's not oneness. It is that you must have it within yourself to understand what it is and how it works. Keep in mind, it is a beautiful thing. Love is a beautiful thing, and you must work within the confines of what love is and what is necessary for love to continue, what love is all about. It is that you cannot say you're not being loving when you don't know what love is in yourself. So be careful to judge or not to judge. My love is with you. God's love and the love of Christ, which is coming, is with you. But it is not here yet. But pray for it to come, as earth as it is in heaven, and on earth as it is in heaven. This is part of the prayer, and it is an important part. Not only do you thank God for your food and for your shelter, for your clothes, and for all the goodness that is surrounding you, but you will pray for God's will to be done on this planet. God's will be done. And that is what I have to say today. Because today is that day when we have to come together in love, in oneness, and knowingness that we are to spread this joy and understanding to everyone. Much love to you, my children. Greetings, this is Alma Talk.
Welcome, Alma Talk. How are you?
I am very well.
Beautiful. I believe Safira requested you. Is Safira here? Yes, Safira?
Yes, thank you, Krishna Priya. Alma Talk, hello. It has been many years since you have been with us here.
I have. I have been in and out, but I have not spoken.
Right. Thank you for coming. I called you because I know that now I've heard that you're ready to speak again. Is that true?
It is true. Otherwise, I would not be here.
Okay. Well, I mean like okay, it's okay.
Yes, I understand what you mean. And yes, that is true. You are correct.
So, can you please describe yourself to those who've never heard of you before, because it has been so long? And if there's a message, I just wanted to know if you can share of what you know and what's going on. Just whatever you want to say, if you can share that with us, please.
I am a higher sixth dimensional being, which is partially corporeal and partially not. I would appear to you as a ghost or something that would be less tangible or less material than what you have here. You will be able to see through me, but you would able to communicate with me. But right now, I have come back from my planet to speak to you about many things. There are corrections to be made in all your thought processes. As the world has moved forward, mankind has forced its thought processes on all of society. Society believes that the correct horoscope is in view and can read the horoscope accurately from what you have there now. They also believe in the correct numerology. And the reasons why these things work for humanity is because they believe in them. As you believe in something as strong as the horoscope or numerology or anything that you believe strongly in, it will come about that it will work better for you. If you do not believe in something, it will not work, or usually would not work unless it's a material plan of the universe that's unable to be shifted or altered. then it will work no matter what. Even if you don't believe in it, it still works. But these things, such as the horoscope, numerology, and several other things, such as the way they look at quantum physics and things of this nature at this time, are a little off. They are not truly what is meant or supposed to be in this realm. They were not given the proper information about how to go about getting the information for these things. Much of the information is ancient. Much of the information comes from long, long ago, and things have changed in the sky around you. The constellations have moved. The constellations are in different places than they were 2,000 years ago and 4,000 years ago. And so, as the pyramids were made, they were made to be set up to be pointing directly at Orion, but now they are not pointed directly at Orion because the Orion belt has moved in the constellation over those 3,000 to 4,000 years. So it is that your skies are changing because you're moving around the center of the galaxy. And so as these things are happening, information in the horoscope, numerology, and things of this nature are changing. I'm going to have a time that I'm going to channel some of the information to someone, perhaps this channel, to write down the information that is updated so that updating can happen and people can be more in tune with what is out there and what is going on. Now, the other part of this message is that, yes, there are many changes happening to your planet. You may think you're going through global warming, which it appears like that is happening, but it is actually headed for an ice age. And so there are many things that do not seem like what they are. Everything appears to be one way and is sometimes another. So I am here to update many things for this day and age. And as I do so, you will see that it works a little better. You will see why it is more in tune. You will see why it is more advanced. You'll see why I must help this part of the universe. There are many out there that know of these things, but have refused to change anything because they don't think they have what it takes to make a difference on this planet. They don't think that people will understand the changes well enough to make them happen. But I am more of a positive ilk, and I believe that these changes must happen for you so you can understand more clearly what is going on. Many of you believe that your spiritual life, from many ways that the spirit is being taught from many different directions, is online. But there is a greater and more powerful way to align yourself with the spirit, even now. And so the spirit is always pure, of course. The spirit is always pure. But when you're looking at it, you see all these different things within the life that you are living, the way that you are, the energies that are coming to you that change the way you look at spirituality. And spirituality must be looked at in a very pure and nonsensical way, a pure and very alert way, because much of the information about spirit is destroyed by people putting their own thoughts within it. There are many channels out there that are saying all this intellectual things that mean absolutely nothing. They just wanted to sound smart. And what they're saying is actually not true, and their ideas are faulty. Be careful not to fall into that, because you will find yourself in a mess of trying to figure out what the spirit is really doing. The spirit is not complicated. The spirit is simple and will bring simple information, not complex la-di-da information about intellectual words and things of that nature. It will bring straightforward messages, such as Elijah speaks. It will bring straightforward messages as all of you would understand immediately. not something that you would have to study or learn. Of course, there are those philosophies such as the oneness philosophy, the raw philosophies and things that are good to learn because they have much information in them that can be very useful. But remember, your spirituality is pure and must be sent out in a pure way and received in a pure way. I better stop there and ask questions. You ask questions.
Did you have any other questions, Safira?
Yes, thank you. Hello again. I just wanted to know if you do any personal healing or counseling that people can, if they're channeling through, if they go to have a session with Jim, they can ask for you and you can help on that level, or do you prefer to work on the level you're speaking?
I work in all different levels. Since I'm higher sixth dimensional, I can come through and work in a healing mythology or whatever it's called here. But modality. So, but you would have to ask for me and I would work through the modalities known through the channel.
Okay, thank you. I'm done. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Michael has a question. Go ahead, Michael. Michael?
Unmute.
Hey.
Hello?
I don't know. Michael, are you there?
Go on and come back to him.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. Is there anyone else in our room that has a question? If so, I'll check the YouTube chat. In a very strange turn of events, I don't have any questions from anyone, but Alma Talk, it's been many years since you've actually been with us. I'm thinking 6, 7, 8 years since you've actually been on. So it's just really nice to welcome you back and to talk to you again.
I have been brought back actually by many of your energies. I've been brought back by many of your thought processes. This is a time when the thought processes of humanity are changing and are developing in a way that they have never developed before. And so I am here to help you develop that understanding and the importance of doing things right and making things work in a most correct way. And so that is what I'm here for. I
Perfect.
will be starting to write my book somewhere. I have to write a book.
Oh, well, then you've come back with a mission. That's beautiful. Michael is back. I'll just let him ask his question. Good, Michael.
Greetings. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, since my father has passed, it cannot be a coincidence. There has been so many disasters after disasters after disasters in this home. And I've done my own protection and clearing. Is there anything you can tell me?
Yes. You had a lot of negative thoughts about him, and he is aware of all those negative thoughts. And he's aware that he was negative as well. And so he is trying to come back, but I don't think he's meaning to be negative when he comes back. However, that's his nature so far. He will change. His nature will change and the disasters will stop. But he has a way of doing things that cause disasters and causes negativity. But he is not trying to show that. Find love in your heart for him. Find love in the household for him. Find a goodness and a peace with him, because he is seeking out all the negativity and acting upon that, like saying, he actually is denying some of that negativity and saying that he didn't do it, but he actually probably did. But the thing is, he's going through a process where all this negativity is being pulled out of him. But he is also trying to be with his family that he doesn't really understand why they don't like him so much. So he is going to continue to do this until they get enough negativity out of him that this will stop. Does that make sense to you?
Okay. Absolutely. One more question and I'm gone. I used to be able to be, I just want to know if you could activate my powers, like channeling and stuff like that. It's kind of just went away. And I would like for my psychic and my channeling to come back, but it's just
Right.
been, yes.
Purify all things within you. You must purify the being that is you and understand who you are fully again. And all these powers will return because they are meant to be for you. But you must clean yourself out first. And you must know that these energies are there for you. You are a very special individual, and you are being battled with by negativity. They're trying to put you in a bad place with all things, and you must overcome that, and that is not easy. That is not an easy job for you to do because you are a good person. You do have good thoughts. You do have a good behavior, but there's things battling within you that you must clean and clear.
Yes.
And so when you clean and clear these things, then I will come to you and help you with all the things that are your gifts.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Would the home benefit from a clearing, like a energetic staging and clearing like that?
Yeah.
I have.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Yes,
Maybe-
that's why I didn't mention it. I know that they have done it.
Okay, good. Good. All right, perfect.
Well, thank you so much. Blessings.
You're welcome. I think that was necessary for more people to hear because there are situations like that out there as well. Many people are being bombarded with negativity and they have to overcome it and cleanse themselves before their gifts can be fully usable in the proper and right way. If you come up against a lot of negativity and a lot of depression and sorrow and sadness and pain and things of this nature, it's very difficult to move forward in a positive way. And they are just trying to get to you because you are so good. And I will give one example. They always try to get Angie to stop being a spiritual person. But Angie is a wonderful teacher and a wonderful person, and she works through it so that she can help many others. Many have spoken that she is a wonderful teacher and a wonderful person, and without her, they would be sort of lost. But yet she is always bombarded with negativity so that they try to stop her, but she will not be stopped. And so I give her praise and thanks for that.
I agree, and that's beautiful.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Any other questions?
I don't have any questions unless someone has a question that hasn't said they had a question. I do have some questions from the YouTube chat. If
Very
someone
good.
has a question, Nathaniel says, could you please share on what the main mission of your species is?
The main mission of our species is to help other species rise. Like I said, we're upper sixth dimensional. We've been through a lot. We've seen a lot of things, and we see what this planet is going through. It's going through a very diverse, negative, positive, all kinds of things going on at once. People, the judgment of each other is persistent and constant. We're going to try to bring as much peace to this planet as we can and to stop as much of the warring as we can. We are only an outside force, so we cannot actually come in and stop things, but we can speak to people, we can whisper into ears, we can show our energy to the most positive portions of the population so that we can bring forth that which is necessary on this planet. Now, I want to right many wrongs, and many people that are beautiful and pretty pure still have wrong ideas. So we're here to straighten some of those ideas out.
Okay, perfect. I just need to check the thing. Oh, I don't have any other questions in the YouTube chat
All right.
for
Very
you. Thank
We'll
you.
I will bring someone else.
Okay.
One moment. I am Anu.
Welcome, Anu.
I am a version of Anu. There are many Anus, but I am the one that has been called.
I believe that was from Wendy. Yes? Wendy, are you with us? Wendy?
Unmute. She is muted.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I had walked away from my phone. I was like running
I
around looking
figured,
for it.
yeah, that's okay. Anu, if you can maybe explain to us who you are, then that would be
Yes,
fantastic.
please. Thank you.
I am Anunnaki. I am one from your planet from a long time ago who did much work on your planet with DNA work and also with spiritual work. I was only partially involved with the DNA work, but more involved with spiritual things and more involved with spiritual understandings. Yes, I did speak to many of the people here, and I was a good source of information to humans, warning them against negativity and warning them against the other Anunnaki that were not so positive.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for that backstory. So you came through my channeling as we're getting ready to put together a divine feminine masculine balancing event for next year.
Yeah.
And you came through and said that you're going to assist and called yourself the uh, pyramid priestesses. So I hadn't really heard of it referred that way before. And so I just wanted to have more insight regarding the balancing.
I started, yes. I started
Yes.
off in the Sumerian area in India, what you call India now, but I moved across the Mediterranean to the Egyptian portion and set up some uh, temples there for myself, smaller ones, and for those that are around me, so that we could worship as we pleased and get away from the terrible negativity that was happening in Atlantis and things of that nature at that time. They were sending over all these misguided teachers. So we moved out of that area into the Egyptian area where we set up our own small temples and became aware of the energies of the pyramids and became aware of all the things that the pyramids represented, as well as all the things that they did with technology and with actual natural energy and water flow.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, because I know that how we're looking at it is, our preliminary title is Finding Your True Voice, Balancing the Divine Feminine and Masculine Within. So I take it that that's part of how the spirituality within those temples was that you came through to kind of give us some guidance.
It was a very masculine era in Egypt at that time. There were many men in charge. There were a few women, but it was mostly men, and we were praying and asking the gods to equalize them at some point. And then we had Isis, or Isis, as she is really called, and several other female rise to be pharaohs and princesses, and it was a better time. They knew much more than you think they did, and they were very much ready for the leadership positions. And they called on us as well, and we were there with them. However, they did not mention our names because we were not supposed to be involved with anything in politics.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll let somebody else ask a question. Blessings.
Susan has a question. Go ahead.
Hello, hello, Anu. So yeah, in our channeling practice, you came through this week, as Wendy mentioned, and so we're being called to possibly go to Maine, maybe around springtime next year, or go to Oregon, maybe in the fall. But I'm wondering for myself, I know you mentioned you're connected. Well, first, I know you're connected to water, you mentioned. And so it seems like we're being called to go to places where there's a meeting of water with land or with mountains, kind of that connection between water and mountainous regions. So I'm just wondering if you could speak to kind of more about the purpose of us going to those types of areas, and if there's a significance, of the type of work that you wish for us to do in those regions.
It's multifunctional, actually, because if you look at the work that we did back in the pyramids, you will see that there is water under the pyramids. They had a water system going under the pyramids for to make the pyramids more powerful. It was used almost like a battery, the way that the pyramids were and the water flowed, and the channels of energy were being united, and they did have energy flowing through that area. We wanted you to go to these places because the water on your planet is very much more polluted than it ever was in past times and ages. And so we need you to help to clarify the water so that it can be greater purposed. We also want that it be purposed to clarify the land as well. So the land and the water work together, of course. We also want you to know that we are working with your spirituality, and there's much spirituality in the water and around the land. God is nature. God is part of nature. And so as God is part of nature, he is in the land, he is in the water. And there are things that you can derive from the spirituality of the water that others cannot do, for you understand it in a little better way. There are many of you that understand nature in its fundamental ways. And when you do understand nature in its fundamental ways, you can draw from it much spirituality and much goodness and kindness, love, diversity, and all kinds of things that you cannot see by just looking at humanity.
Beautiful. That leads me to my next question. So, in that same session, I channeled the Green Man, who represents, going back to ancient times, the energy of rebirth, like in the springtime, nature, the growth of nature, and rebirth of the rebirth energies and growth within nature as a nature deity. And I'm just wondering if there's a purpose for the Green Man coming to me
Yes,
at that time. Is that something that we're supposed to
we are
connect with the Green Man as we do these type of events, as we're out in nature, as renewing the energy, rebirthing the energy in those areas?
The green man is also connected with nature as we are, the priestesses of the pyramids and the priestesses of the time that was. Yes, we are connected because remember that Egypt at that time was a very desert, and it still is at this time, but it is going to change, and the green man is going to be changing that desert once again into a green area. And so as you pray for God to create the things that are necessary for this change, the green man will be there to support you and bring life and green to the desert.
Okay, that's great because that's what my light language translation spoke about, exactly that. And that was that the green man speaking through me in my light language today?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I felt because it resonated with the message you just gave. So wonderful. Thank you very much. And I look forward to working with you more in the future.
Yes, we are here. We are a part of all things. We make ourselves available to all things. We are part of nature. As we have left the planet, we come back as the wind and the rain and the sun and all the things of nature. So we are devoted to bringing life to this planet.
Oh, she's mute. You muted yourself, Susan.
Yes, thank you very much for that. We look forward to, working more with you and with all the nature deities. Much love to you.
I will go on to say that we work with the deities of the original Indians sources as well. We we are very, very connected with spirit wind and all these different things that you will learn from all the different kinds of Indian sources from your realm. I do not know how to actually speak about it, but I know that it is closely related.
Yeah, I have a Native American guide, as I believe Wendy does as well, and we've had lifetimes as shamans, so that definitely connects in for us. And
many of them, the people here have been shamans or witch doctors or whatever you want to call them in the past. And that energy is still alive today and still able to be used through herbalistic healing and understanding of how to use the herbs of the planet and plants of the planet to do healing and to do very marvelous work.
wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. There's some questions in the YouTube chat that I'll go to. Adriana says, what is your relationship to Wasret? W-O-S-R-E-T? Wasret?
Wasret, I do know who that is. My relationship is not close, but Wasret is also kind of a spiritual being in some ways. He is, in many ways, I should say, he is a demagogue of peace and understanding and kindness. We see him, but I do not know him that well. I want to say that he has affected us in some ways because he does support us, but we do not know him well enough to know exactly how he does that.
Okay, perfect. Wally says, how can we help with the integration and bringing in the solar energies into our beloved Earth? Is that the ascension?
The solar energies are not the ascension, but they can contribute to it or take away from it, depending on how you are attuned to it. Remember this, if you are tuned to an energy, it can be used in a very positive way. If you are not attuned to an energy, it can be very harmful to you, or it can be used negatively. I see that many have used it in a positive way, but some have let it make them ill, made them dizzy or fatigued or whatever. The sun is a positive force. Use it in a positive way. Do not let the coronal mass ejections that hit the electromagnetic fields cause you pain or anxiety or fatigue or headaches or anything like that, because I want you to align with these different coronal bursts so that you can be aligned with that energy and make it useful in a very positive way. And so as you align with it in a positive way, it will be more useful to you and will be a positive force for you instead of creating what they would call the ascension symptoms.
Thank you. Lena says, as our DNA has been transformed in many ways in the past,
Yes.
be restored to its original splendor again, if at all? Or please share with us the message of your choice if not on this topic.
Yes, the original DNA will be restored eventually, but it takes a great deal of work because it's been blended and really quite conflicted with many different other energies and different other elements. And so as you are in this very polluted realm, your DNA has taken up some of that pollution into itself because it cannot help it. You are surrounded by it. The purity of the DNA will come out when the purity of God comes back. And that is not far from now. Although it has not come yet, it will come, and it will straighten out the DNAs of those that are seeking purity, that are seeking oneness, that are seeking God's actual help and God's will. So it will happen. It just will take some time.
Okay. Suzanne has a question. She says, who has built the pyramids in Egypt and how were they built?
The aliens, of course, the Orions and the Pleiadians and some Syrians, they built the pyramids. And they had devices that could cause things to be weightless, and that's how the stones were lifted. They became weightless, and they were able to move them into place. It was not that many people rolled them on logs. It's impossible to do that. Even today, it would be an impossibility for anyone to lift those stones in place. They would have to have He-Man force or be 10 foot tall and weigh about 400 pounds and have about 100 of them doing it. So it's not that the people did it. They did not. It was that they have the understanding of how to manipulate gravity. Gravity is something that is at a loss for your people. You know that gravity exists, but you have not learned how to use it properly. And once you do, you can make things weightless. You can understand how weightlessness can be given to items and articles. And so they can be lifted into place and done easily without all this problems or without straining yourself. Now, it is that you must have the right mathematical formulations to get things in the right place so that they are not going to fall apart after a time. And so building the pyramids with a mathematical process, it was a colossal project with people who knew how to build things. And so as they knew how to build things, these architects created something very special and something that was useful. The insides of the pyramids were used for charging stations. They were used for fueling stations. They were used for all kinds of things. There are evidences that electricity existed at the time of the pyramids. Although they do not say that too often, they have found obvious things that were electric in the pyramids. in some of the tubes, in some of the wiring, and well, not wiring, because they are not wired anymore. They took that away, but the bulbs are still there, and the bulbs look like electric light bulbs, and they didn't know what they were at first because they don't look like your light bulbs, but they understood as they took them apart that they were something that had filaments and things of that nature for light. And although nothing was attached to them in power, they were at one time lights. And so also you see the shape of the canals that go into the pyramids. They come down like this. They're angled. Why are they angled? So that the sun and stars and moon can shine in. They do some worshiping and some ceremonies inside those because they were directly attached to the Orion belt at first. The Orions had a great deal to do with that. Of course, Sirius is close by. So, and the Pleiadians did not mind because their time was not at hand. But there were many different aliens there at that time, and you see all the different heads that are on the pyramids and different things. These were actually aliens that took on human bodies, but they kept their own head. Why did they do that? Because they could. In those days, aliens walked the earth and they just thought they were from another country or another place. They just thought they go, oh, they must be from across the Mediterranean. They look like a duck, or their head looks like a wolf. So they must be from another species of humans that come from somewhere else. So it was that they were accepted because they were friendly and kind. They did not see that they were alien. They just thought they were another part of humanity. So that is how it came to be. In Samaria as well, in Atlantis as well, aliens walked about and no one paid much attention because they just thought they were from somewhere else. Oh, they must be from China. They must be from China or from that Oriental part that we don't know anything about because we don't see people from there very, very often. And so they must be from there. So it was true. Aliens walked around and did what they pleased and were friendly and kind and built the pyramids with all this technology.
Sounds like a very beautiful experience to have that much openness in a society.
Well, look at what happened in the Egyptian society. You have a sphinx that changed faces. It did look like an animal before because look at the paws. It was an animal, and then they changed the face to make it look human. And that face, if you take that face and you look at it, it's perfectly symmetrical. Humans cannot do that. It was made perfectly symmetrical. If you fold that face, if you take a picture of that face and fold it in half, it's exactly the same on both sides. How can any human do that? They cannot.
Right.
And so when you look at that, and study that, you will find out it's exactly symmetrical. No flaw in the symmetry at all. That was impossible for humans to do even now, pretty much, with that kind of statues and carvings.
Right. That's amazing. Thank you for that.
Yes, it's a little piece of information. But I loved the Egyptian world.
Mm,
Yeah, I did.
beautiful. We can move on I don't have any other questions in the room. If you're ready to move on, or do you have anything else that you'd like to share with us?
Not at this time. I think I will let someone else come in.
Okay, thank you.
Very well. Much love. That is what they say, right? That is your greeting.
Yes.
That's our greeting, yes.
Very well. Greetings. I am Tesla.
Welcome.
Someone has called for me.
That was Christine.
Christine, you have called for me. What is your purpose?
I wanted to talk to you about the energy that is now being shared by so many. In a way, what I find offensive in your name is that a vehicle has been created that has so many problems and is so. Does it offend you at all that?
No,
No.
does not offend me, because the reason that I am not offended of anything of this planet is because they are so not understanding of who I was or what I really did yet. They have some of my technology that they are working on that is becoming very valuable. There is one in Hungary, a man in Hungary named Peter, who is working with scalar wave technology and working with purification of water, who is doing an amazing job with my technology. There are others in different parts of the world that are doing work with my technology, and they are finally starting to understand it in a way that it was more apt, let's put it that way. And the scalar wave technology, which created your energy systems for healing, they can be much more powerful than they are. They are not as powerful as they could be, but they are the beginnings of a great work. Yes. So, and the Tesla car, it will work out to be a good thing eventually, but I am not worried about that, because mankind will do what the mankind does. And why am I how would I be offended if they are using my name to do something that they think is futuristic? Even though it's not very. So it is what I consider to be a compliment.
Within my city, in fact, not too far from where I live, one of my neighbors has brought the energy wave into being used to help people. And is this on the right track? Are they on the right track?
You mean the
scalar energy, or?
Oh yes, the scalar energy does do that. Yes.
Okay.
Enhanced energy systems are just that. They're enhancing energy to help humanity. To when your system is energized, when you are in a place of great energy, like in the pyramids where there's great energy, in the system where there's great energy, the body responds to that. The body responds to the energy in a very positive way, so that you are using the energy in a more valid and more full way. And so as you are in these systems, you're using the energy to not only heal, but expand the energy of the system, so that the entire body is being used in the perfect way that it should. But it sees many errors in the body, and so it tries to correct them.
Yes.
But it takes a long time for that to happen with just this mild energy that they are using. It would take much stronger energy to do that immediately or within a small time period. So they are trying to do something good, and it is working, but it is working in a small way. But some people have gained much from it and have reported even miracles happening from it, because of the way that it is set up and the way that the settings are done. Certain people will be able to benefit from it more than others. Even some people have said that they've regained their vision, regained their sight, and they're walking. They were able to walk again through the EES systems. But I don't think the energy is still strong enough to do major miracles like that unless the settings are much higher. And I think they were at the beginning, and then they calmed them down a little bit.
Can you tell me if the center that's in my city is going on the right path?
Well, they're all set up to go on the right path. They are all set up to give energy to beings. It is the power that that needs adjusted.
Uh-huh.
Now, there's power settings for the lower body, the center of the body, and the higher part of the body. Most of them are sent to the center of the body where the trunk of the body is.
Yes.
That is where most settings are. They usually do not set the settings for head or lower because most people are coming with things wrong inside of their trunk area. Now, it does affect the head and it does affect the lower part of the body, but there are adjustments to be made if you want to affect the head and the lower part of the body even more effectively. So you would have to work with the settings if someone comes in for doing just that. But most of the time, they just set everything to the trunk, and that's where it stays.
I'm asking that because I had gone to them, and I think for about a month, and I don't think I'm that much of a sensitive person. I mean, I think I sense things, but that energy, for whatever reason it was, I don't know if it healed me of anything or if it helped me with anything. So that's why I'm asking all these questions, because it's an investment for me.
Of course. Yes, they charge much too much for it. But of course, they had to buy the equipment. So
Yeah.
they buy the equipment and then they charge what they think that they can get back from it. So, but many have exceeded that amount by great amounts. So they're making very much profit.
Well, they have offered me to only pay what I can afford, but
That is
I
good.
feel like I'm stealing from them.
No, do not feel that way. They are probably already paid for their machinery and everything. But a donation is good because it is energy. Yes.
Yes.
But it is helpful. You may not feel it. Many people go in and go out and say, I did not feel anything. I did not feel any difference. I did not. But other people feel a great deal.
Thank you very much.
Very well.
So sorry, I was writing a new email to a new member. Let me just make sure. Does anyone else have any questions? Anyone else?
No
I do have
question.
some more questions in the YouTube chat. So sorry, my dog is coughing. Tommy, you okay? Oh my goodness. Okay. Sorry, I'm torn between muting myself and asking you the question.
Go ahead.
All right, 1 second. Well, let me go back. Adriana has a question. She has a couple of questions. Let's see if we can get them. Are you able to answer questions about the Anunnaki or not? Or would you like to prefer to stay on?
I can. I know about them. I am up here in spirit where many of them are. So I
Yeah.
know some of them.
Yeah.
I do not spend a lot of time with them because they are more DNA oriented. I am more technical.
Well, let's come back to that. Angie, you have a question or not? Angie.
Yes, yeah, I was trying to unmute. Yeah, yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Are you planning on bringing and coming back yourself in form?
In a human form?
Yes.
In some way. I have split myself and given shards of myself to many people. But there is a couple humans that I want to use me in more beneficial ways. And I will come in them a little more strongly, but I'm not coming back in human form, no.
Okay, that was my only question. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, who else had a question? Don had a question. Go ahead, Don.
Thank you, Krishna Priya. Hello, Nicola. It's been a long time since we've talked.
Greetings.
I'm wondering, What stone is good for healing knees?
Knees.
Yes.
Well, one thing I know is this. Their stones can be charged to do certain things for people. You can make them do things that they not or originally planned to do for people. They are not originally charged to do. I would say the crystals, the Lumerian crystals, and anything of the crystal nature can hold information. And so I would take the crystals and use them for the knees because they can hold information. They can be trained to do more jobs than any of the other crystals can do. Now, usually the clear ones can hold more information. So keep that in mind. The Lumerian crystals and the regular crystals, and even the hard crystals, the rose quartz, they are good for gathering information. But the rose quartz is better for the heart, but it still can be programmed to work for the knees. But I would use more clear crystals.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that answer.
You're welcome.
I have a
There is a question here in the room.
okay to go ahead now.
You must come to the speaker.
Greetings. Hi.
Greetings.
I'm interested in any information on what technologies would be best to use to help with healing myself and others, and is there any things around here that I can access to receive healing from people that are using some of your technologies?
Oh, you're looking for technologies, but I would say the EES system is the best that there is right now. There are other things being worked on, and the med beds will come back eventually, and they will be a greater influence. But right now, the EES system is probably the most powerful way. There are the red lights and the infrared lights that do help with pain. To move pain or to get rid of pain, you can use the infrared and red lights, and they are very positive on the body. Now, for growing plants and things, infrared light and ultraviolet light are good. So I just to mention it. But for humans, the EES system, the enhanced energy systems would be the best.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Blessings.
Thank you. We have a new member that just joined. Her name's Adriana. She just came in the room. She has several questions for you.
Good
Um,
evening.
Welcome, Adriana. Welcome to Human Colony.
Greetings.
She has to unmute herself. Let me see if she knows. She can do it. Let's see. Just give her one. There she goes. Go ahead. Hello.
Greetings.
Hello?
Greetings.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you. Scalar energy. I wanted to know if it is effective for genetic conditions such as Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Good. It is good for all conditions because what it does is take the energy of the body and uses it more efficiently throughout the system. And so if there is anything that is wrong in the body, then it tries to correct whatever that is by sending the energy through that area. And so if you are part of the electromagnetic field that is around your planet, and you've been in that for many, many hundreds and thousands of years, millions actually, and so you are part of it. And so it works with that energy as well to try to correct everything that is wrong within. Now, it will be mostly all these machines are focused for the torso, and so this is where the main energy will be. And the more systems that are set up, there's 4, 8, 12, 16. The more energy going in, the more set in, the better it will be. It will take less time to start working because you have more energy going in and working with the system. But also while you're doing this, please be aware that you must be in a prayerful state. You must be also asking God to help with the energy to put it where it needs to go. So yes, it can help with that.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Was, was that your only question? Sorry about my dog barking. Did you have another question? Because she had many questions in the chat, so I thought maybe if she wanted to ask one or two, it would be fine since it's her first time.
Not for Tesla.
Okay,
Thank you, though. I appreciate
you're
your
welcome.
contributions.
Okay, perfect.
Thank
All
you
right,
very much.
Met
And
Wally. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
more of my contributions will be coming forth soon.
Perfect. Met Wally in the YouTube chat is asked, how can you tell us how the pyramids work?
They work in many different ways because the pyramids were set up to do multifunctional things. They were there for communication. They were there for transporting people. They were there for energizing people. They were there built for ceremonial reasons. They were built there for many other things. They were not tombs. The tombs are underground. The pyramids are overground, so they are not tombs. They are meant to be technological works. And on the top of the pyramid was crystals, which they have removed. There was crystals many different places because crystals have great information, and they were very vast communication systems. You'll see that there is no the Sphinx acted more like a communication pole as well, because they sent information through the Sphinx as well to other parts of the planet. They sent information upward to different parts of the universe and galaxy. So it was important that different things were there so they could use them. They were the transporting mechanism, and it was also a starship refueling station. So it had many purposes. I could go on and on, but I'm getting ahead of myself. All right.
Right, thank you. I'm just going to scan the chat and just make sure there's no more questions. That are relevant to you? No, there aren't. So thank you so much for your being here. And just one last call for questions. Here's a question from Christine. Christine, do you want to ask the question?
Yeah, Tesla, I was wondering, all these different countries, especially in Arabia and so on and so forth, will those countries, will their governments eventually honor what the pyramids were originally for and bring back the use of them?
They already know the information about the pyramids because more things have been deciphered from the pyramids that were not able to be deciphered before, or they couldn't understand what terms the pyramids were speaking in. So they have gained quite a bit more knowledge about what was happening at that time during the pyramids, because the history is written very much upon the pyramids and upon the pillars and upon all the things that are there. That's how they wrote their history. They were writing it on things so that it would be read by the future. Now, it is that many of the understandings that they were giving are not on the pyramids. They are in the scrolls that are hidden in the pyramids and hidden in the Sphinx and hidden in other places. But those will need to be deciphered before they can find that information. They did not want the world to know about these secrets yet because they thought it would destroy the world if they let go of these secrets too easily, because they were secrets of the future. And so right now they are deciphering how to unmask those scrolls and get into those areas. So right now they are actually starting to develop ways to understand more clearly what these mysteries and what these sciences are that they have on these scrolls that are hidden.
Will their governments start growing, get more willing to bring in this understanding?
It depends on what they believe. If they believe it's too powerful for the world, they will not bring it in, but they will know themselves what it has to say. Many countries already are aware that there is great secrets in the Sumerian tablets and in the Egyptian pillars and on the pyramids themselves. Some of it has eroded, and so they cannot read all the messages, but most of it that is not eroded, they can read.
It seems like sometimes their governments are not doing too well.
No, they do not want to expose anything to the people. They do not want to do that because they want to be in power. They don't want people to know what is available and how to work with it.
Thank you, Tesla.
Okay, here's an interesting question from the chat. It's about sound healing, and it says, can you suggest modalities to use tuning forks in the 369 computations, please, for healing and energy? Would you suggest using triangles and or circular shapings and what crystals?
Yes. The thing is, you can use almost anything in healing. And the thing is, you must find the power that identifies with your vibration in the healing. Many people can use a triangle and that vibrates with them, or tuning forks that vibrates with them and brings unity into the room. Now, it is that sometimes you're using an instrument that does not echo your vibration, and so you must find a way to echo your vibration in the tools that you're using. Crystals are very good because they can be attuned to humans, and so can all these other instruments. You can attune yourself to them so they work with you, but you must put your vibration into them so that they can bring the positive vibration to you and to those around you. So yes, bells and cymbals and things of this nature, drums and all these things can be used, but you must attune yourself to them. You must attune yourself to them and have them attuned to you.
Does that include using magnets and copper? Is that also
You
something
can
helpful?
do, yes, magnets are good for pain. Yes.
Okay, that was
And-
an additional question.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
These things can be attuned, yes.
Okay, Luke has a question. Do you want to ask Luke? I don't know if you have a microphone. I can't remember if Luke has a microphone. Luke? If not, I'll ask. Luke says, I will ask the question, do you know where would be best to get directions to build your technologies these days?
The best places to get my technology, it is the government has all my paperwork, but there are some that are starting to use it because they have developed ways and understandings of the scalar wave system, which is the basis for many other things, such as transporters and communication systems and things of that nature. So I would say look for those people that are building scalar wave systems. They would have the best information about how to move forward with Tesla technology. There is much more to come with the scalar wave technology. It is only the beginning.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, my dog's barking. Okay. Lena says, it is rumored that there are Tesla towers now ready for use. Is this true?
There may be a couple, yes, but they are not towers that people know about.
Okay.
They're in places where no one knows what they are.
Okay. Rosangela says, is there technology to restore the nervous system for diseases such as neuropathy?
There are, yes. And scalar wave can help with that because the energy flows throughout the body. Even though it's centered on the torso, it moves out just like Reiki energy moves to where it is needed. The energy of Tesla scalar wave energy moves where it needs to go. But if it's focused on a certain area, then that's where it will help the most.
Okay. Adriana has a question. She said, are you familiar with the Dendera light? And could you please explain what it's depicting?
I am not aware of what the dendera light is. What color is it?
If you, Adriana, if you can answer that, what color is it? I don't know.
It is on one of the Egyptian temples in, I think, Karnak.
Yes.
Yes.
And what color is it?
There's no color left on the wall. The Dendera light is a motif in the Hathor temple in Dendera, Egypt.
Ah, on the Hathor temple. Okay. Very well. I know now what it is. It's the Dendora light is the Hathor's.
Wait, one moment. I don't know what's happening. One second. I think someone is making noises, but I'm not sure who. Oh, Luke is making noises. Luke, I'm going to mute you, huh? It's okay. All right. Okay, go. Please
The
continue.
Dendera light is something that's used with the Hathor healing, and it is part of their it's a sound wave, and it is also a light that works with the sound wave to help with greater healing responses. And the light is a vibration that brings everything into focus with their toning, because the Hathors are known for their tuning and for their musical ways of doing healing. And they usually travel in 12s, and 12 is the magical number for them, and it is the universal and the God number for them. And so this energy helps with healing and with the way that things are done with the Hathor people.
Thank you.
Yes, that is on the Nile River, the Hathor Temple.
There's a question from High Priestess in YouTube chat. She's saying she took a prick in 2020 and wants to know if there's a way to reverse any effects from that.
It is already done.
Okay.
Do not worry anymore. Your body has cleansed you already.
Okay. Thank
But
you.
the thing is that most of the time that people took the shot, they think that it was very harmful, but it was harmful for some, but not for others, because some people have allergies, just like any other prick that has been taken, even with the polio or measles or whatever it was. Certain people cannot handle it, and so they get sick with it. But it was not meant to be purposely harmful, and it's still not meant to be purposely harmful. But it is that some people just cannot take it or stand it.
Okay, thank you. I feel that I have reached all the questions in both rooms for you, Tesla. It's lovely that you're here, and please do come again.
Very well. Who do you wish to come?
Let me check and see who was requested that hasn't. Enky was requested by Adriana, so maybe that's
All
maybe
right. We'll see if Enky will come.
Okay.
This is Enky.
Welcome, Enky. How are you?
I am good. Thank you.
I expect you to be good, and I don't mean to be so informal, but please welcome to you. Is there an opening message you can give us? It's rare that you're here.
My opening message would be that I am here to just answer questions and be of good measure with all of you, and to bring forth something that might benefit the group. It is not a large group, but it is a very, very beneficial group in many ways. Who has questions?
Adriana has questions for you, so I'll ask her to unmute, and she has a few questions for you that she can start with.
Very well.
Adriana, whenever you're ready.
Thank you very much. I have heard a lot about your history and I find it very confusing. So I am trying to sort out the mythology and understand it better.
What have you heard?
Just some stories about arrival and the difference between you and a brother, and I take it all with a grain of salt. I really
I am, you mean with me and Enlil?
Yeah, but my curiosity has more to do with the divine beings that were here when you arrived. For example, the god Walk, or was Hecate here before you? So I'm just investigating mythology, and thank you so much.
Yes, they were here. They did not deal much with us because we were dealing with DNA. We were dealing with technology. We were dealing with the utter changes that are were being made with some of the peoples at the time. We saw that there was Neanderthal and Cro-Magnon and many other species of man, very similar to one another, but not the same, from different bearings of DNA. And we were very interested in that because this was telling us that these beings came from different sources in some ways. And so not completely different sources, but definitely different enough to want us to study them and make them aware of one another. So we were working most with the technology and the DNA work, and we were Enlil and Anu and others, and AI, AE, EA. I'm not sure how she says it, but she was a goddess of creation, sort of. From people looked at her as a creative god, even though she was not exactly that. She did do a lot of creating with DNA and all those kinds of things. So I called her A. So, but I really don't know if she was AE or EA at that time. So different names for at different times. So it is that I knew a lot of them that were there.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have one more if no one else has one.
No, go ahead. You can go ahead and then we come back to someone else. Go
Okay.
ahead.
What is it's okay if you don't know. I'm trying to learn more about the history of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and where the genetic code for it came from.
It is not a human genetic code, I do not believe, because it is very rare and it is certain DNA, only certain DNAs can produce it. So it would be in the DNA system, definitely. And would come from I could go into a great deal of science with that, but there are codes in the system. There's the C code, the T code, there are many different ones. So, and there are two different helixes, as you know. So it is something to do with the codes that melded with close to a helix. And it's a lot of different energy, it's a lot of different color and a lot of chemical differentiations. It's something that pulled together that was very unlikely, and so that's how it came about.
Okay, thank you. I have Ehlers-Danlos, so it's very helpful to hear that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, Susan has a question. Go ahead, Susan.
Hello, Enky.
Great.
So I've channeled Marduk, who I understand is your son,
Yes.
before, but when he came through, he was like also the speaker for the Serpents of Sirius, and that I have a connection with them. I know I have a serious connection. But I was told in that channeling, or I've channeled him several times, that that I wasn't necessarily, I was Anunnaki, but I wasn't necessarily perhaps related to him, but that I did scientific works with him. And I'm just wondering what kind of scientific works that those were. Was it involving like DNA and genetics with the human form at the time, or
I mean,
and this would be in Mesopotamian, Sumerian, time frame.
he was definitely considered the black serpent of the family, but he was trying to do some very good things, but he did it in very different ways than others would do them. And so they were poo-pooing him and saying that he was not doing the work correctly. And so he sort of moved out away from what we were doing and started his own thought process, let's put it that way. And it created some very interesting outcomes, which were later considered abominations. But he is someone of great intelligence, my son, and he wanted to do great things, and he did, but they were not recognized.
Okay.
And yes, he does have a connection to you in some way. I see that.
Was it in some of those scientific works that did they
Yes, you
were
worked
they
with it, yes.
considered, I guess negative, the work that I did with with them, but
I wouldn't say it would be called negative, but it would be off the grid kind of work. And some would consider it negative, others would say that it was enlightened. But it depends on how you look at it. And I look at it as being something very different, something very potentially helpful, but the way that it turned out was not potentially helpful, but I know that his heart was in the right place.
okay.
I'll say the best that I can about him. He was a good person.
Okay. I know there's a symbol of a dragon that that supposedly represents him. I have in like drawings and on temple walls, etc. He's represented by like a dragon, and it has a long name which I can't remember off the top of my head. But I'm wondering, was that dragon actually like a creation of his, perhaps?
He created that form for himself because he wanted to distinguish himself away from our look.
Okay, so it was just
Something he created for himself.
a form for himself. Okay, that explains it. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
Very great information. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Luke has a question I'm going to read. It says, what habits and practices can we do to better bring back our DNA strands that are awakening at this time?
Talk to your body. Talk to your DNA. Say, please bring me back to, but first of all, before I even say that, you must let the DNA know that you're talking to it specifically. If you talk to your eyes, you have to say, eyes, I am talking to you. I want to tell you something, and you must listen. Because if you just start talking, the body's not listening. Why would the body listen to all that jibber jabber? So you must attune the body to listen when you are talking to it. It will not respond if you're just talking. But if you say, my DNA, I need to speak to my DNA. Please respond to me. DNA, DNA, DNA. And then do your talking. And then do whatever you need to say to the DNA. Then it's listening because you have called it out. You have called it out for it is, for what it is. Some DNA doesn't even know it's DNA. Why? Because there's so many different kinds of DNA. There's DNA in the heart, all through the blood system, in the brains, everywhere there's DNA. So say if you want to talk to a specific portion of the DNA, say DNA in the lungs, or DNA in the legs, or DNA in whatever part. But you must be specific when you start talking to DNA, because it is only listening to it is only listening if you specify what you are speaking to.
Okay, interesting. Okay, thank you. We are almost out of time, but I do have a few questions from the YouTube chat that I think we can do in like quick fire answers if you're up for it.
Shoot.
Okay, thank you. Rosangela says, what is my connection to you, Anil, and the Anunnaki?
You were there with us. You had a different name, Lita. Litai. I'm sorry. Your Anunnaki name was Litai. You were very involved in the movement of the Anunnaki on this planet. You were in the Indian area and the Pakistani area, and you are connected with all the work that we are doing with the DNA, and you were connected with many people from the Atlantean period.
Okay, thank you. Tanita asks, are you AI now?
No, I am not AI. No.
Okay, thank you.
I can respond like an AI if you wish, but no, I'm very advanced, but I am not an AI. I do have some technology in my system. I would be more like a cyborg if you want.
Okay, High Priestess, you need to retype your question. She said, can you tell us, I'll just tell you what she said, but she didn't finish her statement here. She said, can you tell us more about Lord Kalki or Kalki?
Kaliki.
Yeah.
Well, he was a very good, very interesting character, very proud, very arrogant.
Mhm.
He was, Lord Kaliki had a very sharp mind, but he thought more of himself than anyone else. He was very self-minded, and he wanted all appreciation to go to him about many things. And many people did give him that appreciation. So Lord Kaliki was a very brilliant teacher, a very brilliant professor kind of person, and did teach many things. But yes, he was a high, wise individual, except that he was very much into his own ideas and did not want anyone to tell him anything or argue with him about anything.
Great, thank you so much. Let me see. Haymet Wally says, the rumors are that you came here originally for gold. Is that true? Were you looking for gold?
Correct. We were. And we created a being that would dig and shovel and communicate with us what they found. But gold is a very, very, very highly sought after metal. It does many, many things, and humans do not understand even all the things that it can do.
Okay,
And
perfect.
yes, we did. We came here for the gold.
Can you give us an inkling of something that gold does that we don't know that it does?
It has magic properties.
Okay. Did our alchemists know of these magic properties?
That's why they wanted to try to make everything into gold.
Okay. Not for, they didn't want to make magic into gold only. I mean, everything into gold
They wanted
for
to make it into
money,
gold
but they wanted it for the magic.
they wanted to make it into gold because it had properties that they wanted to try to understand better, because it was something that was not of this understanding of their understanding. They saw the aliens use it in magical ways, and they wanted to have it. So the stories came down through legend to some of these alchemists, how the magic was used, and they didn't understand how it was used, but they wanted to try to understand how it was used. It was all very secretive, hush hush.
Okay. And let me see. Also, lastly, and I feel like you've answered this question a million times, but very quickly, can you share your role with humanity when you were here many years ago, and how are you helping humanity now?
And I was someone that Enlil and I worked well together, even though he was a forceful character and he had a lot of negative things about him. He was very forthright, and I was very more spiritual than he was in some ways. And so when he wanted to destroy things, I was not for that. Even though some of the things that he wanted to destroy probably should have been destroyed, thought destruction was not the right idea. Some other way must be better. But he did do a lot of destruction. He's the one that caused the flood. He's the one that destroyed all those beings that were half human, half animal, all those beings that were half angel, half human, all those beings that were not considered correct. So he caused that to happen. And I was the one that warned Noah about it.
Okay. One last question from Wendy. She says, what is her connection to Ankbar Anu and any connection to you?
Oh, yes, Ankwar Anu. I just called her Anu. She was someone that was very set in her ways because she believed very strongly in spiritual guidance. And she was working with the projects for a while, but then she had to leave because she just couldn't suffer Enlil. I mean, not him. Yes, Enlil. And some of the others that were very forceful in what they were doing. They pushed forward in a very strong way, and she didn't particularly care for that, so she moved on.
Thank you. So since we have you here and since we really only have a few moments left, can we ask you to do the closing blessing for us? That would be quite an honor if you would do that.
La toti senzera. Tragawaf. Tundividiendo non vorrendi kata. Fraiti fusha viandumiana. Gratitude tutti ambugo wawa ia vandaka. Chesha jufren die frendo. Wukruya randakata ditem visasenda. Crack that. Tashkarabat. Fruriera. Bring forth a great change on this world for the positive. Bring forth the change on this world that is needed in spirit and in understanding and in truth. Bring forth that which is natural to humanity, which is unnatural to the humanity at the present. The present is a time of change. Let that change come quickly and happily to the people.
Thank you. And one last thing, would you be able to send healing energy to our dear Hucolo family member, Alan, who was in a car accident?
Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you.
The being here says that he wishes Alan the greatest of health and recovery. And I wish for that as well.
Thank you.
He is a special individual.
Yes.
Much love to him.
Yes. And much love to you from all of us. Thank you for being here and sharing your wisdom with us.
Very well. Hello?
Welcome back. Thank you so much for this lovely channeling today.
Oh, you're welcome.
So
Hello,
Angie, do you
everybody.
have a moment to do announcements, or you?
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
Okay.
What we have scheduled right now is, well, nothing scheduled, but we'd like to get things scheduled. We'd like to create a consciousness class or a white magic class. Please send an email to classes@hucolo.org if you're interested in either of those. And when we have the most responses, that's the class that we will go with. Did want to announce that Jim is going to be on Rob's channel panel. It's January 3rd through January 5th. Rob has it up on his site if you are interested in buying tickets for that. It is in Arizona. And Jim's going to be doing a 90-minute workshop as well as be on stage for an hour. We'll be doing the webinar in two webinars out. We're going to be doing it at the EES system in Bath, New York. And so that will be our first experience there. So if you're interested in any of those things, please email classes@hucolo.org. I will get any information out to you. Anything else you want to add, Jim?
No, I'm just not much information is available yet, but I will get it out to you as soon as possible. I already have some people asking for tickets, so hopefully you will join us. I'd love to see you there.
Okay, so the webinar next week will be Max Rempel. He'll be here interviewing another channeler for his genetics project. And then 2 more weeks we have Jim. And is that the one that you're talking about? Or you're talking about the 21st of September is the
21st of September.
21st of September will be at that healing center.
Yes.
The
Right.
scholar. Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Okay, and just for anyone who happens to be a web designer, if you have some volunteer time and would be happy to help us with the changing of our website, our old website, we're going to be updating ASAP, or maybe I'll be doing it, I'm not sure, but either way, anyone that wants to volunteer some web design, that would be fantastic. Just send a message to Angie at classes@hucolo.org. That would be great. All right, much love to everyone. Thank you, Jim. Thank you to everyone on our YouTube chat, everyone into our Zoom room, and we'll see you all next week. Much love to you all.
Thank you for coming. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
And Alan, be well. I'm
Yes.
praying for you. I'm sending energy. Much love.